Hey y'all, my name is Holly. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a yoga teacher based in Washington, D.C. And today I'm going to share with you a yoga class for golfers, right? I grew up watching golf and playing golf with my family and have friends that play golf, and I'm excited to share this practice with you. Yoga is a really wonderful addition to your golf practice because it not only helps with mobility, right, flexibility, stability, balance, but it also helps with the mental aspects of the game as far as concentration, meditation, focus, going inward, kind of letting go of what's already happened, right, on the last hole, and then kind of looking forward to what's to come. So again, it's a great practice, not just for the physical benefits of a yoga practice, but the mental, psychological benefits of a yoga practice can really help your golf game as well. Yoga hones both your interoception, like your self-awareness, as well as your proprioception, your awareness of what's going on around you in time and space. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. This is a floor-based class, so you'll want to be able to get onto the floor. And you'll want either a yoga mat or a carpeted area. You don't need a yoga mat, but it could be handy. You can sit crisscross applesauce. You can sit in Sukhasana, easy pose with knees bent, one foot in front of the other. And take a moment just to rock back and forth, side to side. Feel your sit bones on the floor. Maybe lean forward a little bit, backward a little bit, right and left. So you're starting to notice, right, your center of gravity. Then I want you to just sit up nice and tall, lift your chest slightly, relax your shoulders. You're going to place one hand over your heart space, your chest, and one hand over your abdomen, your belly. We're going to focus on our breath just for a little bit, right? You can close your eyes or do a soft fuzzy gaze just beyond the tip of your nose. As you're ready, just take a big intentional inhale through the nose. Whenever you're ready, exhale. It can be through the nose or the mouth. Just let your exhale be as slow or even longer than the inhale. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale through the nose. Feel your body rise. You might notice your chest lifting, your abdomen and ribs expanding. When you're ready, exhale slow. It can be through the nose or the mouth. And you might start to notice your chest falling and your abdomen contracting, right? Breathe in. Maybe notice the temperature of air coming into your nostrils. When you're ready, breathe out. Notice the temperature of air coming out of your nose or your mouth. You might notice it's a little bit warmer, right? It's a reminder that we're 90-something degrees and very much alive. Inhale and exhale. And slowing down our breath is a big part of slowing down our mind, which can be really helpful in golf, right? So if at any point in your yoga practice or in your golf game you find that your mind is getting away from you, it can be helpful just to take a few intentional slow breaths. And that really calms the nervous system and gives your mind something calming to focus on. If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes. Place your hands on either sides of your hips. Really root your fingertips into the floor here, sit up nice and tall. And as you're ready, take your left hand over to the right, stretching the left side body. And it's worth noting that I'm not mirroring you, so it might look like I'm moving my body to the left when in fact I'm moving my body to the right. You are welcome to follow my words or my body movement either way. Just know that I will do the right side of postures first unless I forget. Good, slowly come back to center, take your left hand down to the floor, and this time, reach your right arm long overhead, stretching the right side body. So think about lengthening the right arm as you drop the shoulder down. Good, come back to center, let's do that again. Right hand to floor, left arm up and overhead. Notice if you're starting to tilt way to the right, try to press down through your left sit bone. Good, come back to center, left hand down, and this time, right arm up and over. You might notice that the right and the left side feel different. That's okay. We're not symmetrical, right? Yoga helps us become a little bit more aware of our asymmetries and work on them. Good, slowly come back to center. Very nice. From here, you're gonna take an inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead in a big expansive gesture. If it's accessible to you, you can put your palms together in prayer. And as you exhale, slowly pull your hands through heart center. Good, bring your thumbs towards your sternum. Drop your shoulders, push the palms together, feel biceps engage. Good. From here, you're going to interlace your fingers and push your palms out for a nice knuckle stretch. We have 28 knuckles and we want to stretch all of them, right? Especially for those of you working on like a golf grip or your grip strength, right? We want to stretch out the knuckles as well as strengthen them. Good. Slowly return your hands to the floor. Great. You're going to take your right hand up, palm facing up, high five with your left hand, and then press the hand down. So from the side, it looks like this. Right, so again, we're stretching out the wrists, stretching out the fingers, drop the shoulders, sit up nice and tall. Good, and release, hands down. Let's do the other side, left hand up, palm facing up, high five for practicing yoga today, and then take your left fingertips down to the floor. So there can be a little bit of activation here. You're pushing the left palm forward and gently pulling the right hand back. Shoulders down, chest up. Good. Slowly arms down. Very nice. From here, you're gonna bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, hands behind you. So from the side, it looks like this. You can have your fingers pointing towards you. And then windshield wiper your knees and your feet. Right, so from the front, it looks like this. Good. We're just getting some motion in the hips. A lot of this class will be focused on motion in hips and the upper spine, right, and the thoracic spine, as well as, of course, in your wrists and your hands. Okay, great. Bring your knees to a neutral position. Walk your hands in a little closer towards your body, and you're going to start to turn your knees out and the soles of your feet in. And if you'd like, you can even lean forward and place your hands on your feet and give your feet a gentle massage, especially if you walk all 18 holes, right, rather than using a golf cart. Golf cart can be good to massage your feet here. And from here, I just want you to make little butterfly motions with your knees and with your feet. Good. Great. So we're getting a little bit more range of motion into the hips and knees. Keep sitting up nice and tall, shoulders out of the ears. Great. And then from here, you're going to place your hands on your knees, and only if it feels good, gently press down. Right? So depending on your range of motion, the knees might come all the way down to the floor, or they might be more like this. And this is a really great place to start. You're not forcing your body, right? But just a gentle press of the hands into the knees can help. And if you'd like, the knees can resist a little bit as well. So hands are pushing into knees are pushing into hands. So there's a little bit of inner thigh strength going on here, right? And slowly over time, the knees are going to relax out as the hips open up. Great. Let's take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Great. Place your hands outside of your knees. Bring your knees, feet together. Take your arms out in a big expansive gesture. I love golf this much. Good. And then you're going to wrap your arms around your knees and give yourself a big hug. If it feels good, you can even drop your head down, rounding your spine. Squeeze tight. Okay, and then lift your head, coming into neutral spine position. We're gonna come onto our hands and our knees for some tabletop action. Now, a pro tip here, if you have a yoga mat or a blanket nearby, if you have tight knees, you can roll up your yoga mat a little bit or even put a little blanket padding underneath your knees so that there's extra padding there. And from here, making our way into a tabletop position, so our back is flat like a tabletop. It's not a very creative name. You want your hands about shoulder width distance, wrists underneath your shoulders, and your knees about hip width distance, knees underneath the feet. Make your neck long, engage your core slightly, and we're gonna do what's called cat-cow. So we're gonna round and bend the spine. Take an inhale, stretch the crown of your head forward, lengthen. And on your exhale, pull your abdomen in and round your spine up towards the ceiling like a cat meow. So you're gonna actively push the floor away from you, slide shoulder blade scapula apart, draw your belly button all the way up towards your middle spine and your middle spine up towards the ceiling. This is cat pose. On your next inhale, we're going to move into cow pose. Drop your abdomen down, stick your butt up, roll your shoulders back and down, look up and back. Spread your fingers wide, root down through all 28 knuckles so that you're not putting all of your body weight on your wrists. On your next exhale, cat pose, meow. So it's extension to the spine, compression to the abdominal wall, slide shoulder blade scapula apart. As you're ready, inhale into your cow pose, so compression to the spine, extension to the abdominal wall, squeeze shoulder blade scapula together. Again, there's this activation going on in the upper spine. Good, let's do one more round. Exhale into your cat pose. Throughout class, remember that you are your greatest teacher. So if something does not feel right for your body, you can skip it or take a different version. And as you're ready, inhale into your cow pose. Send your hips up, send your gaze up, squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together, shoulders out of the ears, neck long. Exhale into a neutral spine position. Great. Next, we're going to get some more motion in the upper spine and the shoulders, good for working on our grip. On our golf swing. So keep your left hand firmly planted into the floor. Look at your right hand. Identify right and left, okay? On your next inhale, you're gonna reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and look up. So you're gonna roll the right rib cage back. And as you exhale, place your right hand down on the floor. Good, let's do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up, look for your left thumb, roll the left rib cage back. Good, exhale, place your left hand down on the floor. Good, let's do the other side. Inhale, right arm up. Try to keep your hips even, so it's just the spine moving. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Good, inhale, left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down to the floor. This time we're gonna do what's called thread the needle. I'll walk you through it. Ready? Inhale, reach your right arm up, look up. Exhale, you're gonna take your right arm through your left arm, right shoulder to floor, right ear on the floor, left hand on the floor. This is called thread the needle. Try to keep your hips over your knees, and if you need to open up your knees a little bit wider, that's okay. You can keep your left hand on the floor for balance and stability. You can also take a half bind by reaching your left arm up and then draping it behind you, reaching for your hip or even your right thigh with your left hand. This is called thread the needle. It doesn't work for everybody, right? So if thread the needle is not speaking to you, you can come into a seated position, and maybe if you want to try that hip opener again, right, you can come back into your butterfly pose here. And then you're going to take your right arm out to the right, swipe your arm across your body, try to keep the right arm as straight as possible. Bend your left arm up and pull back, so you get that shoulder deltoid stretch without putting weight on the upper body. So this is always an option. Great. If you are in thread the needle, and your left hand is draped behind you in a half bind, you're going to start by reaching your left arm up and then place your left hand under your shoulder close to your face, push down. Everybody together, unthread the needle. Inhale, reach your right arm up, look up. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Good, let's do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, thread the needle, take left arm under right arm, right palm to floor, left ear on the floor, left shoulder on the floor. Try to keep your hips over your knees. And again, if you need to open your knees a little bit wider, that's great. Option to stay here or reach your right arm up and then reach behind you, reach for your left thigh with your right hand for a bind. And again, you can also do the seated shoulder opener if that feels better for your body. Take a breath. Make sure you're breathing. If your right hand is straight behind you in a bind, reach your right arm up. Place your right hand on the floor close to your shoulder. Everybody together, unthread the needle. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, place left hand back down on the floor. Good. Coming back into our tabletop position. Look at your legs. Identify which leg is left, which leg is right. Try to keep them straight. From here, you're going to take your right foot in between your hands, and you're going to start to slide your left knee back a little bit into a lunge. And again, if you need to adjust where your mat is rolled up, so that there's some extra padding under your knee, you are welcome to do so. You can also simply walk your right foot forward. Good. And then you're gonna start to tent your fingers and lift up slightly, shoulders out of the ears. Good. Option to stay here or start to reach your right arm up and look up. So it's another variation of this shoulder spine twist. Good. Slowly take your right hand down to the floor. Let's do the other side. Reach your left arm up. Good, and then place your left hand down on the floor. Good, you're gonna bring your hips back over your knees and slowly return your right knee back into your tabletop position. Let's do the other side. Put your left foot in front of your hands, and again, you can either slide your knee back or walk your hands and feet forward. Good, so we're stretching out the hip flexor. Start to tent your fingers, sitting up tall, shoulders back, neck long. Option to stay here or keep your right fingertips on the floor and reach your left arm up overhead, look up. Good, place your left hand down on the floor. Other side, reach your right arm up, look up. Good, and then right hand back down on the floor. Okay, from here, palms to floor. Take your left knee back, back into your tabletop position. From here, you're gonna open your knees a little bit wider, about mat width distance, bring your big toes together, and we're gonna take a wide-legged child's pose. Start to sink your hips back as you reach your arms forward. Now, eventually your forehead might touch the floor, and eventually your hips might even touch your heels. But what's really important here is that you're stretching through the lower back, middle back, upper back, through the neck, the shoulders. As you breathe, inhale and exhale. If you ever find that you're gasping for breath in a yoga practice, right, that might be a tell that you've gone a little bit too far. You want to flood your body with oxygen the whole time. Let's try another intentionally slow breath. Inhale, feel your ribs expand. Exhale, ribs contract. Good. Gently lift your head, look forward. Lock your hands in, come into a seated position, sitting up nice and tall. And from here, if you'd like a counter stretch, you can take your arms behind you. You can either interlace your fingers and do a little back bend here, bringing the hands down towards the floor, or you might simply place your hands on your lower back, fingers point down, and do a little back bend. So either way, we're getting this nice opening to the chest and the shoulders, and a little bit of healing compression to the spine. Good. Slowly come up into a seated position. If your mat was rolled up like mine is, you're gonna unroll your mat and then make your way onto your back for the last little bit of class. And I have like so many different yoga poses that we could do for yoga for golfers, so maybe I'll make another video again, but we're just doing a few here today. So lying on your back, this is called Savasana or corpse pose. You can have your hands, your feet on the floor, head on the floor. If lying with your legs straight and your back on the floor does not feel good to your lower back, that's really normal. You're also welcome to bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor and your knees rest together, and that'll take some pressure off of the lower lumbar spine. So we'll just hang out here for a moment in our version of Savasana, either with legs bent or legs straight. Inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. Right, so we're both working on that interoception, that self-knowledge, self-awareness of what's going on the inside, as well as the proprioception, like our awareness of what's going on outside of ourselves, right? Feel your body on the floor. Let the floor hold you up. Great. Bend your knees if they're not already, so that your feet are about hip width distance. You want your ankles underneath your knees. Rotate your shoulders so your palms face the floor. Lift your hips slightly and wiggle your hands underneath your body if you're able. So one day thumbs touch. Make sure palms face down. Keep your head on the floor. Tuck your chin in just a little bit so that your neck lengthens. Squeeze your glutes. Press your heels, palms, and shoulders into the floor and lift your hips up. So this is called bridge pose. Rather than fanning your ribs apart, you want to knit your ribs together. Squeeze your glutes. Keep your chin into your chest, head on the floor. Look up, look down the center line of your body, I should say. Good, and slowly return your hips down to the floor. From here, we're gonna take supine figure 4. Keep your left foot on the floor, lift your right foot off the floor, cross your right ankle over your left thigh so that if you look down, your legs make a 4 shape. That's why it's called figure 4, it's not very creative. Option to stay here with your left foot on the floor or lift your left foot off the floor, hug your thighs in towards your abdomen. From here, you can keep your hands on the floor. You can also grab the outsides of your legs, or if you'd like, you can take your right hand in between legs, interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and pull down. Let your feet relax, head on the floor. Try to relax your 2 shoulders and hips on the floor. This is a great side seat stretch. It's another good hip opener, and it's good for sciatica. If you've ever had sciatic nerve pain, right, this is your posture. Release any grip you have from the back of your leg. Return your left foot down to the floor, right foot down to the floor. We're gonna do another bridge. Rotate your shoulders, palms face down. Bring your arms underneath you, press your heels down, squeeze your butt, lift your hips up. Chin in slightly to chest so the head and the neck are long on the floor. Squeeze your glutes, lift your pelvis up to the ceiling. Squeeze ribs together. Good, slowly lower your hips back down. Other side, figure 4. Keep your right foot on the floor, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And as you're ready, you lift your right foot off the floor and you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. And again, you might notice this side feels different. Sometimes we're very aware of an incongruency in our body, maybe from like a previous injury or surgery. Sometimes yoga helps us become more aware that like, hey, my left shoulder is a lot tighter than my right shoulder. Yoga gives us the tools, again, for awareness of our body, as well as gives us the tools to work on our body. And it also gives us the tools to be okay with the fact that, you know what, one knee might always be a little bit tighter than the other, and that's okay. Good. Slowly return your right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. This time we're going to do happy baby. Lift both feet up. Keep your knees bent. Bring your knees and feet apart. Flex your toes back. Lots of options. You can grab the backs of your thighs, the backs of your knees, or you might even try catching the outsides of your feet with your hands. These are all good options, right? And from here, you can roll right and left only if that feels good. Good way to roll out your back here. Maybe as you roll to the right, you can try straightening your right leg, right? So you stretch the inner thigh and then come back to center, bend the right knee, roll to the left. You can experiment with straightening your left leg, feel that stretch on the inner thigh, and then come back to center, bend the left knee. So rocking it out. Good, and then come back into a neutral spine position, shoulders, hips on the floor. We're just gonna hold here and breathe. So through our yoga practice, we do become more self-aware. And one of the beautiful things about yoga is we're practicing being a non-critical observer. So sometimes in our golf game, as we become aware of like, I would like to work on this with my putting game or this with my swing, we can be really critical of ourselves. In yoga, we're training our brain to be aware of things, but also be compassionate towards those incongruencies or those areas of growth. So whenever you notice like, hey, my hips are really tight in this posture, you're gonna practice observing that in your body without judging it or criticizing it, right? Instead, just be really proud of yourself for practicing yoga today. And hopefully this expands to your golf game as well, that you can be proud of yourself just for like getting out on the links, right? In yoga, we say it doesn't get easier, you get better. It doesn't get easier, you get better. And I think that's true in golf as well as other games as well. Release any grip that you have from the backs of your legs or your feet. You're gonna place your hands outside of your knees and bring your knees, feet together. Relax your feet in towards your butt and place your hands on your shins, and you're just gonna rock right and left again. It's a great way to roll out your back. Great. Then come to a neutral position. Our last posture is going to be a spine twist. Take your arms out to the side. You can have your arms out perpendicular to the body, or you can bend them, cactusing them like goalposts. And you're going to roll to the right so that your left hip stacks on top of your right hip. Try to keep your left shoulder on the floor. You can have the back of your head on the floor or look over your left shoulder, left ear towards the floor. Take a breath here. If you're looking to the left, you're gonna bring your head back to center, roll your knees, feet back to center, and then we're going to do the other side of the posture, roll to the left. So your right hip stacks on top of left hip. You can have the back of your head on the floor or look over your right shoulder, right ear down towards the floor. Take a breath here. This is a great spine twist as well as an abdominal wall twist, right? Good for back mobility, good for digestion. Sometimes you might even hear something pop, almost like a chiropractic adjustment. If you ever do hear your back pop in a yoga practice, it's not necessarily something bad. It's just a shifting in synovial fluid, the gaseous liquid between the joints and the body. It's actually usually a good sign for joint mobility. If you're looking over your right shoulder, bring your head back to center. Slowly roll your right hip back down to center. If you'd like, lift your head, tuck your chin to your chest. You can give yourself a big hug here. Squeeze tight. Take an inhale. Ball up your body. When you're ready, open your mouth. Exhale. Release your body, arms and legs down. Final Savasana. You can close your eyes. If closing your eyes doesn't feel right, maybe just do a soft, fuzzy gaze at the top of the ceiling. You can open your arms and legs as much or as little as feels good. Take a deep, life-giving breath. One of the highest forms of yoga is actually visualization, which I also think is true with a golf game, right? You have to be able to visualize where the ball is going, right? Where the hole is, where the slants are on the green, all of that. And so to end, we're going to practice that visualization limb in our body, right? Which is great practice for golf as well. So visualize your body here. Right, you might notice how your head is on the floor, You might notice what parts of your body are touching the floor. Maybe what parts of your body aren't touching the floor, right? Like behind your knees or your lower back or your neck. You might start to observe what parts of your body are in contact with fabric, right? Your clothing. And where your skin is touching air, maybe even if there's a little breeze or if the air is pretty stagnant. Now I want you to visualize your body getting a little bit longer. And if it feels good, you can even adjust to make the body actually a little bit longer. Imagine your hands and your feet getting a little heavier. Picture your chest, your abdomen, and your shoulders melting into the floor. Again, just visualizing the muscles relaxing. Maybe the bones and joints realigning. You can feel your body move with the breath. And you can picture that as well, even with eyes closed or looking up at the ceiling. Inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. As beginning yoga or golf practitioners, we're often very in our mind and very much about the theory, right? And eventually you kind of have to get out of your own way and get out of your head and into your body. And in this way, yoga offers a really beautiful practice, not just for us to work on our golf swing, or even, our understanding of time and space, right? How far away we are from the hole. But yoga also gives us the opportunity to reflect a little bit more, to bring our mind and body into harmony so that we don't have to think so hard. We can just let our body take over and do the work that it's trained to do, that muscle work, right? And that begins just with simple practices, the same way that you go to a driving range, right? It might also be good a couple times a week to hop onto your yoga mat. Take a few breaths. Move your body, visualize, concentrate and meditate, breathe some more. Keep it simple, do your practice, and all is coming. You can stay in this final Savasana for as long as you'd like, maybe even take a nap if that's what your body's telling you to do. Otherwise, when you do choose to get up, I encourage you to get up mindfully as part of your yoga practice. Sit up for a while before you stand up, especially if you have low blood pressure, right? Because we have been on the floor for a while. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water to cleanse your body, and have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you in yoga or on the golf course very soon. Bye, friends.